Hey, friends, welcome back to the show. I can't believe how many people struggle trying to figure out what to say. If you're wanting to build a following online and you know publishing content is an important process of that, you constantly get stuck on what to actually create your content around, what to say in the videos, what to say in your podcast, what your topics are. In this show, I'm going to give you a foolproof, 100% accurate way of creating an entire year's worth of content in less than 30 minutes. Hey, I'm Ken. I used to be a homicide detective. I was a cop for over 15 years, and I got sick of it. When I found out I was going to become a dad, I needed to make a change. In the last 15 years, I've started 4 different businesses in 4 different industries, and they've made a lot of money. This channel is dedicated to showing people exactly how to build an 8-figure coaching business. Every single part of it. I love teaching people how to write books, how to get your books traditionally published, how to turn those books into 7-figure coaching businesses, and you're going to find all that information right here. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, this happens a lot. I get asked a ton of questions around actually creating content. People are really serious about building a following, and they really struggle trying to figure out what to say. And if that's something you've struggled with, then do me a favor and just be honest with me in the comments. Let me know if you struggle with that, because I'm going to fix that for you today, and you're never going to struggle with trying to figure out what to say again. And I want to give you a little bit of the background. I first realized this strategy I'm about to show you from writing books. Back in the day, I wrote a book that failed, and a guy named Nick Boothman, who's now a business partner and friend, taught me the right way to write a book. And it all revolved around structuring the book first, figuring out what the chapters are and what are the most essential elements in each chapter. And I did that, and I started to write my books around using that type of framework. And I got to tell you, friends, it was unbelievable. It made writing books so easy for me. But then I started trying to build my following and started studying. And I actually had that issue. I was really getting stuck on what did I do videos around and how did I get people interested? I mean, all that stuff was really, really freaking painful for me. And so when it came to, I think after banging my head against the wall for a long time, felt like months, I realized that the exact same structuring idea for structuring a book, I could use that same strategy for creating a content calendar. And so I want to show you this. I want to share my screen with you, pull up the chalkboard and actually show you this and do this for you right now so that you can understand how easy it is in your own business. All right. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and share my chalkboard. Make sure you guys can see this here. Okay. All right, there we go. And I'm going to pull up my chalkboard now. Here we go. Let me get that out of the way. Get here, pull up a new page, and there we go. Off to the races. Great. Good. Okay. So first thing we want to do, if you truly are interested in building a following, step 1 in creating an amazing content calendar and always knowing what to say is know who you're talking to. And what I mean by that is just take a couple minutes and find a blank piece of paper and write out like an avatar profile, how old your ideal client is, what gender they are, what do they do, what are their hobbies, what do they do for a living. Write out as much detail as you can. Now, the reason you do this is not because you're going to dial in targeting so much. It changes the way you communicate. If you can picture in your mind who you're talking to. So that's step 1. Step 2 is ask yourself, what's the biggest problem that your business centers around? Or whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to build a following, it's because you want to do something. You want to sell products and services. You want to be a speaker. You're writing books. But whatever it is, problem first always wins. So once you know what that is, here's my ideal client, and I know what the problem is. Once I know what the problem is, then it's really easy for me to say, okay, what does happily ever after look like? Then that's the next thing you do is you say over here, what does happily ever after look like? So once you have these reference points, you know where they are now and where you're going to take them to, then the next step for you is think this in your mind. Okay, if Jane Doe came to me and she needed me to help her fix this problem, and I could only have 1 hour with her, so I needed to like line out a framework for her, a structuring modality for her, the steps that she would walk through. Okay, Jane, you're going to do this. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you do all these things, it's going to fix your problem. And what I want you to do is think about that right now and then write them out. So you're going to write step 1, okay, step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And try and create 10 steps. I first learned this when I was writing books. If you're using this strategy to write a book, those are your chapters. And I want you to write out what they are. Let me just use a weight loss example for you. So step 1 would be admit. Admit where you're at, own where you're at, know where you're at, take account of it. Step 2 would be to make a plan. Step 3 would be all about eating. Step 4 would be all about fitness. Step 5 would be new habits. I'd want to teach them about new habits. Step 6 would be accountability. Step 7 would be the first 90 days. You could do 30 days. It's this, I'm just giving you an example of it. Step 8 would be a review. Step 9 would be the next 90 days. And I probably wouldn't have a step 10 in this case, but I got 9 steps. Now check this out. Now you know what your steps are. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go back. So like in this admit, step 1, the first step, and you're going to ask yourself, you're going to write out every little detail that you think is important in each of the steps. So in the admit, I would say, let me just think through this. Actually, I'm going to jump over to eating because it'll be a lot easier to give you that example. You're going to do this for each category. So we're going to say no sugar, good carbs, fasting, lots of water, good proteins, proteins from vegetables, smaller portions, plan your intake. You can tell I've been doing this lately, eh? So if you look right there, without even thinking, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I could probably come up with more. Write out as many as you can. Now you're going to go back and do this for each one of your steps. Do the exact same thing. You think about this. If I got 10 items in that one step and I got 9 chapters, there's 90 items. That's 90 pieces of content. That's what you're going to talk about when you do videos. That's what your blog articles are going to be about. That's what everything you do building your following. This is how you're going to figure out what your content is. So once you get this all set up, now you just get in the habit of doing as much content as you want to produce. In my life, I do 5 videos a week. I do a video every single day. That means a YouTube show every single day. That means I'm going live on social media every day, and it's all from one video. It means a podcast show every day. It all turns in. So friends, the secret to this whole strategy is once I get this content calendar created, all I do is 1 video per day. 1 video per day. So let's say today I'm doing the video on lots of water. Before I start recording, I'm going to just give myself a little extra help, and I'm going to write out 3 main points that I want to cover with lots of water. So number 1, I'm going to say hydration basics. I'm going to talk about how the body works. Recommended intake. And then why weight loss happens. So now I know I can talk for 10 minutes about lots of water because I've got these three things. Then I'm just going to start talking to a camera. And friends, this works. 90 videos. If you did 3 a week, that's 3 months. So once you get to the end, you know what you do? Is you go back and start again. That's what all the top experts in the world are doing, that exact strategy that I just showed you right there. Now, what I do in my business is I literally do this calendar for the year. So on like over the Christmas holidays every year at the end of the year, I go back and recreate the whole calendar. Now, some people say, well, if you're basically doing 90 videos, you're basically doing the same topic 4 times a year. Isn't that going to get boring for your followers? No, it won't, because they're following all your new content, number one. And number two, they're following your new content, and every time you deliver the information, you're going to say something different. And so the content is always going to feel fresh and new to your followers. And that's what makes it so special. Hey, one more thing I want to show you, just to show you how serious I am about this and how it makes it so easy. I'm writing a book right now. And the book is called Build Your Following. And this video is how I'm writing the book. And look what you're looking at right here on my screen right now is the outline for my book, but I did the same thing. So there's my chapters, my steps, why, where, what to say. See, there's letter to a friend, why, where, what to say, publishing habits, systemizing, moving people, checks and balances, scaling, conclusion. So those are the chapters in my book. In each chapter, these are the main topics that I want to talk about. And then there are the 3 things, like I just told you. Today, I'm doing a video on content calendar. And so I framed the video so it would be interesting to you. And I didn't just say, come learn how to do a content calendar, because half of you wouldn't be paying attention to this. But when I said, let me explain to you what to say when you're building a following and how to make it really easy so you never run out of things to say, now you're paying attention, right? But that's the general topic. So now all I do is I turn it to red so I know I've done it. Tomorrow, I'm going to do this one. It's really simple, friends. And the fact of the matter is, if you're trying to build a following, you don't have any excuses now. This is exactly what you should say. This is what all the top experts in the world are doing. You should do it too. Now, friends, if you want to see the entire strategy, I have millions of people that follow me online. Why? Because I've been consistent and I made things easy for me so I can keep publishing content. All I do is one video just like this, 3 days a week. Then my virtual assistant takes that video and turns it into my YouTube show, my podcast, my blog posts, and hundreds of pieces of content a week. And you can do that too, friends. We make over $30,000 a month in our business just from that organic content creation that my virtual assistant does for me. And if you want to see that whole process, all you have to do is click on the link in the notes and go check out the masterclass. It explains to you how to create the content calendar, how to create the channels, and how to get a virtual assistant to do all the work for you, and how to drive revenue from organic traffic. Hope you enjoyed the masterclass. Hope you enjoyed today. If you guys liked it, then keep following. Smash that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Check out the podcast. Let's go on this journey together.